Hello and welcome. My name is Brent Weaver, and this is the Digital Agency Show, the podcast that goes behind the scenes with today's top agencies and entrepreneurs. I am really glad you're here, and once again, it's time to transform your business mindset. Hey, what's up, agency owner? If you're new here, I've got a free gift for you on how to scale your agency to multiple 6 and even 7 figures and beyond by overcoming your dependency on referrals, doubling your profit per project, and removing yourself from the main bottleneck in your business. All you have to do is text the word FREEDOM to 720-792-8036. Again, that's 720-792-8036. Just text the word FREEDOM and I'll send you the free gift on how to achieve freedom in your agency and life. Hey, what's up, podcast listeners, digital agency owners? Welcome to another episode of the Digital Agency Show. I'm your host, Brent Weaver, and today we're hanging out with JJ from Ace of Spades Agency. JJ is a former magician, maybe still practicing. We'll find out today. Over 57 million views on his videos and other content on YouTube. Since the pandemic, when he created his agency, he's signed over 100 clients in 12 countries and focuses a ton on personal brand, social media, and PR. JJ, welcome to the program.
Brent, what's up, man? What's up? I'm liking the background that I see here. You've got that kind of purple light. Like, I don't know if you're like dissecting photos, you're dissecting animals, you're dissecting clients that you never want to work with again. Like, at least we're doing something here.
There you go, man.
I'm purple's, but is it purple or aqua? Or no, not aqua, violet. It's violet, isn't it?
It's like a, to be honest, it's like pink. It's our logo is
wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
Brand colors right there.
Yeah.
So
some agency owner is gonna write in and they're gonna be like, listen, it's actually hot pink. Let's get that right. Brent Weaver.
Yeah. So before the agency, you were a practicing magician.
Yes, sir.
What does that look like? What's like the day of a magician?
It's like just like the day of a guy who runs a bakery. You get up, you shower, and then you go to your craft. No, man, listen, I was born in Sydney, Australia. I wanted to do two things: stand on stage and tell everybody my story and who I was. And my claim to fame, my in the game was magic tricks. I was the kid to learn magic tricks more than you. And that sort of springboarded my career to work for the biggest companies in the world, to meet the coolest celebrities, to travel to many different and meet the different cultures. And that also got me to understand of the space I'm in today, because every day I was selling me. Every day I was trying to get on some kind of media to get people to see me and book me for gigs.
Yeah. How many, out of curiosity, roughly how many gigs did you perform?
Well, as a magician, like anything, you start small. You do kids' birthdays, so you'll do 6 on a weekend, 3 in the morning, Saturday, 3 on a Sunday. But then you're doing restaurants throughout the week, But you want to be doing a show. You want to try to be doing a show every couple of days, because it's like a comedian. You need to be on your game, And then if you're not working, like, you want to get in front of a live audience. That's, I think, the biggest thing, And the same thing with clients today. How can you be better at sales calls if you're doing one call every 2 weeks? How can you be better at speaking? How can you be better at social media? How can you be better at, pitching to journalists if you're doing it once every month? So
what was your best trick? What is your best trick?
My sort of claim to fame in the magic world was I love the art of the deception and manipulation, so pickpocketing. I love the idea of, like, the Will Smith, from Focus, or Ocean's 11, George Clooney walking down, very charming, dapper, in a suit, swiping someone's watch, got that James Bond vibe, Yeah. That was my thing. I liked it. It was a good feeling, like it was, a lot of people don't know this, but that was a route that I was going to go down. Like, I was going to be known as we had different taglines, like Australia's Funniest Thief, the international man of mystery, like all these things as an entertainer to brand yourself, but it just didn't make me come alive anymore. Like, it was flat,
You mentioned earlier in our pre-show that with COVID you started this agency. So what Were you doing magic up to that point? I mean, I imagine for performers, COVID was like not the best thing.
Yeah, like magic turned into working on television. Television turned to speaking to Fortune 50 companies, or we call in Australia the $1 billion club companies, And then you're speaking to these companies and you're always mixing in the magic, right? Magic is like a great weapon. It's a great skill set. You can talk to anyone, doesn't matter what age, you can connect with anyone. No one's gonna be like, I don't like magic, So it got into the door a lot, you go trying to impress Richard Branson at a party and think you're smooth. Go to a magic trick and steal his watch. You got his attention. He wants to talk to you, right? Yeah. So understanding the power of attention and like how to keep people's attention, and then doing that. And then the pandemic happened. I wasn't really happy. I thought I was happy, and I thought the entrepreneur journey was like I have to speak and suffer to do this. And in the moment, it's funny, March the 12th, the day before New York City shut down, I believe it was March the 13th, and I was speaking on stage for a bunch of event planners in Vegas, and they said New York City should go shut down. I was like, this will be a phase, Did you think that? It's a week thing, And then it went cray, right? And then, I was like, I'm not even happy doing this. I'm not even enjoying it. And the moment that I switched lanes and actually ran into the right lane and just took all the skill sets from me doing it myself, it just went boom, like in a year, boom, 100 clients, multiple countries, Now, listen, obviously I've had skill sets of meeting people overseas. I knew how to sell, but I didn't have an agency 10-year history, but I knew how to get in front of people. And I knew how to understand how to sell people. So then that's how I went like that.
Hey, agency owners, I have an amazing product to share with you this week. Service Provider Pro. I'm absolutely in love with this platform. If you're currently running a productized service-based agency and you're looking for an all-in-one client management solution, this is for you. Service Provider Pro helps you sell services at scale. You can manage your clients, your payments, projects, all from one slick dashboard. Run reports, see where your projects are at, and give your team a single source of truth. And it all comes in a fully white-labeled package, so you look super pro in front of your clients. For more details and an extended free trial, head over to spp.co/ugurus to sign up. That's spp.co/ugurus. All right, let's get back to our show. So you decided like you're going to make an agency. I mean, there's a lot of different businesses you can start, knowing how to sell, knowing how to sell yourself, right? I mean, what was the attraction to an agency? Was it that you felt like you could take what you've done with your own personal brand and apply that to other people?
Yeah, Brent. I definitely felt like I've done enough of it on myself. I'm like, I could leverage this to other people, and I know that I can. I've always been a leader of people. I know I'm really good at managing people, managing multiple. I can juggle a lot of things. So I was like, I think I could juggle 10 clients. In my mind, I'm like, I could do this. And if I leverage the contacts that I have, PR, right? It's all about relationships. I already had them. When I used to work for MTV, I used to have the best marketing and PR agencies in Asia. Like they would talk, like I knew them because I was talent. So I could be like, yo, what's up? How do I get that contact?
Yeah.
So I could jump the queue. So getting in front of Forbes US was pretty easy for me. Yeah, you need credibility and trust. They got to know you're not going to screw them. You got to know that they're reliable. But I could jump the queue. So because I had those wild cards of relationships, not the wild cards, but like the aces of relationships, Forbes, verification on Instagram. I'm like, I have that. Now I just have to go find the people and mesh them.
So paint me a picture of the agency as it is today.
Yeah. So our specialty is personal branding, PR, personal branding. People are realizing now that people want to get to know you. They have a pain, they have a problem, they have money, they got to spend it. The buyers are getting smarter. we have so many options. We got the phone, we got billboards, we got, podcasts. Like, who do we believe? Who do we trust? Okay, now I know I need help with my business. I want to connect with I want to connect with the guy that's doing it. I don't want to be put under the same, I don't want to be put under the same style as what we've been doing in the past. I want to feel appreciated and connected with. So I realized that people are buying the person, not the product. And I felt that many times in the spaces that I played. I get booked for shows on television, speaking at events. I wasn't the best speaker, but I connected with them. I made them laugh, or I connected with the owner, or I built a relationship with him. Like, his son loved magic, so I'd send his son a magic trick. That's where the money is. At the end of the day, there's 5 people who can do a good job. They got $25,000 to spend. They got to choose someone for the Virgin's keynote in Sydney. Someone's got to be chosen. There's 5 people. I'm the least experienced. I'm the youngest, but that wasn't the sell. I was like, what's the CEO's name? Googling him. Oh, he's got a son. Send him this. Next day, hey, you got the gig. Wonder how that happened.
So just focusing on those relationships and stuff. So you decided to take on, you could do this with 10 clients and make a go at it. I obviously can see the pivot from speaker and the events world to something else. I think a lot of speakers, had a pretty hard time adjusting to virtual. I know initially, there wasn't a lot of money in virtual speaking, and that was difficult. But I like that you took, hey, let's do an agency. Let's actually do some services. Let's solve some real problems for businesses. So is it, it's not just you in the business. What does a team look like?
It's a boutique team. Yeah, it's a small 1 to 5. For me, I think the idea, the ego of me I wanted the 35, 19 to 28-year-old girls working for me, as a guy walking in. Yeah. And then a buddy of mine in Tampa, I live in Florida here, buddy of mine has that. And he's like, Jay, you don't want this. It's drama. 2:00 on a Thursday, you want to run away, like emotions, there's a lot of managing. I can manage people. I just don't think I could manage a team of that in one room. I think it's a different kind of managing. So for me, I realized at the end of the day, if you've got, I just have a good team that can take on volume. Yeah. I don't know if it's a good thing or a bad thing, but it's working.
And the core service is helping people around their personal brands, a little bit of strategy and work to develop that, and then helping them to get media placements through PR.
I think the biggest thing really deep down, is the confidence, but no one wants to buy belief in themselves because it's not sexy. I think the advantage that we have, because I have the relationships to the media outlets that most people don't. So I can't guarantee, right? But I know that I can get you to the front of the queue. The heat on me is taken off a little bit. Now we can really develop the message. Like, hey, I know that Good Morning America, because they'll pick up my phone call, we'll check you out. But what can we do 6 months prior so that you are the go-to person as a crypto expert? We need a crypto expert. Call Jay, get Ryan, boom.
Yeah.
But it could take 6 months to build that messaging and relationship. Where most people having to knock on these general, Good Morning America's doors, trying to be fake and facetious. These producers know it's different now, Yeah.
So what's you mentioned, it's been a couple of years, 100 plus clients. That's an incredible story, but what's been hard about that?
Expectations. Dude, I think every agency owner expectations. I'm classic 101. Let's take on everybody. I have a big ego. I can sell anybody. Yeah, that wonder how that did. Tuesday night by yourself in the office. You spent the money. They're blowing up your phone. I didn't sign up for this. You can have an agreement signed. They send you a testimonial next month. That was the worst. You were the worst business I ever dealt with. What is this? And I think now with the strategy behind growing brand trust through content, and this perfectly happened about 2 hours ago. I had a guy jump on the phone with me. He's a doctor. He's hit a wall. He wants to sort of get more known in the space. And I said, hey, how long have you been watching me for? And he goes, a year before I jumped on a phone call with you, right? That phone call was super easy. It was a conversation like this. It was a sales call, but it wasn't a standard, I don't know you. It wasn't one of these calls where the other person on the line, they're blocked off. It was, listen, he was like, I've seen you. I trust you. Like, I know what you do. Just help me. I've got the money. You know what I mean? Like, that was a year of building content and trust that I didn't know. And he finally must have reached out for whatever triggered him.
Yeah.
Filled out a form, booked a call. Now we're going to work together.
Yeah.
Interesting, isn't it? Fascinating to me.
What's working for you right now in terms of client acquisition?
Speaking, the number one way, and I can share this with everybody, when you speak on stage, it's the highest form of authority you can have, because you're doing something that still is the number one fear in the world, public speaking. So if you stand on a stage in front of your key avatars, people that could use your service, you have tremendous credibility, tremendous authority. And, it's very hard if unless you're being rude or you don't have a really poor offer, it's very hard for them not to work with you. So that's probably the number one way, but it's hard to scale that, Now it's, many different ways. Referral partners are big. We do a lot of stuff with referrals, like agencies. I have services that agencies need. Hey, your client, like, we'll go to book publishers. Hey, you guys do books? What happens when they bring out a book? They need a PR it. They need to promote it. Here are the services. Here's the kickback of money that you get ongoing. I'm very generous. I give them way more than most industry does. So
Can you give me an example of that?
Yeah. So I give them 20%. Everyone that works with me gets 20%. That's unheard of. Ongoing. And I do that for everybody. Now, agency owners listening must be like, Jay, you're crazy, right? Service cost, time cost. I said, exactly. That's why it's crazy. Because think about this. No one wants to sell for you or push you if you're going to give them 5 or 10% one time. Give them 20% and say you can make them 10 to 50 grand this year with a couple of referrals in. They're pushing you, And that's not my win. Like, someone else gave me that for concept. And I was like, I couldn't believe it. I was like, no way, 20%. My costs are already 60. So like, I couldn't break that limiting belief. Then when I let my hands go, and it was hard, like 50 grand, 10 grand, you can either waive for, it's hard, right? But think abundance on that. That guy that I gave a large chunk of cash to, he's brought back over 6 figures of business. So it's an interesting concept, And I think it's interesting, like speaking to you with agencies, is because I came in, as I said before the call, I'm not an agency owner. I'm an entertainer. So I have a different outlook on maybe the way I position the model of agencies, And some people don't like, some people hate it and some people love it. Because I'm coming in with it and disrupting it a little bit, changing some things.
What's an example of somebody hating it? When
I say things that, I'll give you a perfect example, and this is we'll get some hate from this. Easy. I said, how about this? I said, I used to get hate mail for 10 years every day on YouTube. I can deal with it now. Like,
sure.
I'm conditioned. I came into the market and I said, I'm going to do something that the market can't do. I'm going to guarantee things or your money back. That got some heat. Jay, you can't do that. That's preposterous. No one can guarantee. I know. But I'll give you the full money back if I can't get it done. And what happened? All the people that said, finally, a PR agency that doesn't sell me on hype and hope. And if we can't get it done, you get the money back. Did we give money back sometimes? Of course. Yeah. Some things don't happen. But I came with so much conviction and so much just authenticity, because I said, I know I've been that guy. I've spent the big money on the PR agencies as an entertainer. I know the feeling. So I said, let me take away all the things that I didn't like about marketing agencies, PR agencies, social media agencies,
Hey, what's up, agency owners? I want to tell you about one of my favorite white label partners, E2M. They can help with all your website design, web development, SEO, and content needs for your client projects. This includes WordPress, WooCommerce, Shopify, BigCommerce, Webflow, Duda, SiteGlide, custom PHP applications, and much more. Have peace of mind when it comes to your outsourcing needs. Let E2M become an extension of your team so you can grow and scale how you want. Check them out today at e2msolutions.com. That's E2M solutions.com. All right, back to our show. So in the PR space, the idea of somebody offering like, hey, we're going to get you on Forbes or whatever. We're going to get you on MTV. We're going to get you in one of these big publications. And if we don't do it, then we're going to give you your money back. I mean, I think in the PR world, it's like, they do a lot of expectation bar lowering. They're like, hey, we're going to hope for the best, but expect the worst. And we're going to, it'll be 3 months before you get anything. And, we don't know where we'll get you placement, but it's going to happen, but somewhere it will. And eventually it could be 3 months, it could be 4 months, it could be 1 month, right? I've definitely had that conversation with PR agencies. So I know how it goes.
And no one likes it. And everyone has this love and hate thing. And it's like, most people are on the PR, So it's like, I think if you come through with some clear expectations, hey, this is plan A. We're going to hopefully get you this. I have the relationship. Whether she'll take you, that's not on me. But if we do these steps and if I take you on the correct way, not like take on everybody, for example, like I know what's hot. Like if a matchmaker works with me, I know I'm going to get her on some shows. I know, because matchmaking, love, it's a hot subject matter. Crypto's hot, Doctors that are doing something new in the marketplace, depending on the show, yeah, we can get you on, But there are some people that's like, that's probably not going to work yet. Or if you're boring, it's going to be hard for me to sell you.
Yeah. What's, personal branding is your North Star. What are some do's or don'ts for people around personal branding? Because I feel like there are people that try to do personal branding and don't do it very well. There are people that are scared to adopt a personal brand because they don't want to put themselves out there, or they don't want to attach themselves to their business. And then maybe there's some people that are all in on personal branding, but they're not getting great results from it. I mean, what are some things high level that you tell your clients in terms of being able to leverage that more for their business?
Stop acting like someone else that you think you have to be. Like, you can be completely yourself now. We don't want Barbie and Kens anymore. We don't need to be someone. We don't have to be a larger than life personality. You don't have to be me. Like, that's not, I know who I am, right? But I'm just asking you to be you. And I think that the big thing is people talk themselves out of, like, I don't have a story. I didn't live on the street. Wasn't addicted to drugs. Okay, well, why is that important? Well, isn't that the story you have to tell? Like, no, you don't. So I think a lot of people, like, they don't jump into it because they've told themselves they don't have a story to tell, or they think they have to reveal everything, because they see a YouTuber do that, or someone that, I don't want to be that girl. She like does all that. I don't want to. You don't have to. Like, you got to remember, if you just show up, like, one of the biggest wins I get clients is do an Instagram live or Facebook live every day at the same time. You will 1,000% get wins in 30 days. I've never had a person that's ever proved me wrong. Whether it's cash flow, clients, or confidence, the ability for you to turn on a video, start talking to a camera with no kind of like auditory response, it's powerful. People come up on the live, hey, Sarah, thanks so much. You can talk about your industry. You can practice selling. You can practice speaking. People love it. They love getting their name shouted out on an Instagram live,
Yeah, that's cool. I think a lot of people get that feeling of, well, I got to reveal something, or I got to be vulnerable is a common word being thrown around in the personal branding space. Like, you need to, expose your vulnerability. Or, I don't know if that's like Brene Brown is like, they watch like Brene Brown stuff, like, oh yeah, I need to be vulnerable to my audience or whatever. And I think that's a common, I don't know if I'd call it a tactic, but I feel like in the personal branding space, it's something that people feel like they can leverage in order to create more connection with people. Are there ways of doing that without revealing everything, or being really selective on what you do reveal?
Yeah. Well, it's once again, like, I think vulnerable can sometimes have a bad connotation. People think you got to go, like, once again, the time like you had a drinking problem, or the time maybe had an affair with your wife. And I don't want to say that. No. Just share it. There are two ways to do it: pain or pleasure. Pain or pleasure. Give me a time in your life that there was a pain. There was a time that was painful. They're like, oh, the moment that I, got bitten by a spider and I was out in the hospital for 3 days. Great, reveal that. That's fun. People are like, oh wow. Because remember, people in when you show up online, people already have perceptions about you. We work with a lot of CEOs and founders, guys that have either they're working on the business, the business is running, but they want to build it, or they've sold the company and they want to share their legacy. But they've been this kind of macho alpha male. I don't flinch. I'm in the power suit. And I tell them, like, you need to just reveal enough. Like, have you ever had a bad deal go wrong? Oh my gosh, this guy screwed me for 20 grand. Share that. That's it. Just enough for people to make you go, oh, you're human. Like, I love it when people I value, even in other agencies, people who are in agencies, I know they share, like, clients are still dicks. I'm like, thank you. Like, I just thought it's maybe me because I'm maybe new. They're like, yeah, we have this client that hasn't paid the bill yet. I'm like, oh, that's great. So it's not just me that clients just don't sometimes, they're not on time with bills, and they're long clients too. So I'm like, okay, but that now has brought down the value of they're amazing, or they're this person that I can't ever attach myself to. Oh, they're a human like me.
Yeah. Yeah. So I love that. Like, it's a pain, not the pain.
The worst pain, yeah.
It's not like people are like, oh, I got to tell my worst, most, it's like people just want
the skeleton story. Yeah, people want something. People just want, like, and the way you can, most people, if you change it from being vulnerable, just to share me a couple of pains in your life. Like, tell me some times that, like, sucked. I changed the language a little bit. Oh, that sucked. How? Do anyone have a bad business partner? Oh my gosh, yes. Share that, or get pleasure. Like, give me the best burger you've had in your life, and then mix that in with your business. I always tell people that, because that's a great way to come up with social media content. Have a photo of you eating a burger. Best time of my life eating the burger. Now it's relatable, right? Let's say your hands are all gooey. Like, in Australia, we have these big Australian, but like egg, bacon, So it's like beetroot. You got the big burger, but then say relate it to your industry, and that becomes creative. Hey, my favorite burger in Australia is this Australian barbecue burger. It's filled with bacon, lettuce, eggs, cheese. It reminds me of my agency. Like, if all the layers are in the business, it works. But if one thing's missing, it's off. Isn't that interesting about life? That you think, like, see what I'm doing right now? Yeah. I'm adding volume to a story.
Pain or pleasure.
You've had a photo of you. Yeah, pain or pleasure. That's it. That's all you need. Now people are like, oh my gosh, I love the burger. Oh my gosh, that was so cool. Like, I like how you related that.
Yeah. Well, dude, there's a reason that you've had over 57 million views on your content. You're doing a lot of things extraordinarily well, and I think that's also a reason why you've had over 100 clients engage with you in the last 2 years since you started on this journey. I mean, that's an incredible story. And JJ, it's been a lot of fun hanging out. Do you have time to stick around for our lightning round?
Yeah, let's do it.
What is the best advice you've ever received?
Oh, the person you have to always believe in is just you. You will take you to victory.
Which of your personal habits has contributed most to your success?
The ability to get in front of people. Ability to get people's attention.
Can you share an internet resource, a tool, or app that you use regularly that you think our listeners would find valuable?
That's a great question. That should be a lightning speed question. You know what? Genius Scan is good for when you're on the go for travel. Genius Scan is like, you can take photos of your receipts. You'd be surprised. Like, I used to do it and then you do it later. Just photo, receipt, boom. It's like you thank yourself for it later. Genius Scan.
And what book would you recommend and why?
The one that always comes to me is 10X with Grant Cardone. And the reason why I like that, whether you like him or not, he has reminded me to, like, why can't you think bigger? Like, why can't you think more? Like, like instead of me having an office in Miami, like why can't I have 5 offices? You're right. It gives you a different way to think. Instead of thinking in Miami, like, okay, you think about like, okay, I'm going to have to need 500 staff or whatever the case is.
Awesome. We will link out to Grant Cardone's book 10X on our show notes, ugurus.com/podcast. We'll also link out to Genius Scan. That's a great recommendation. So again, go to ugurus.com/podcast. If you're listening to this week of, you'll see JJ's face right up there at the top. Click on him and you'll get lots of tips, tools, takeaways, nuggets from the episode, including his habits, his advice, and other awesome quotables. JJ, how can our audience find out more about you? Is there anything that you have that they can check out?
Yeah, cool. aceofspadesagency.com, aceofspadesagency.com, or you can check me out at Instagram at JayLive, JayLive, and then send me a DM and say, hey man, I heard you on Brent Weaver's show. Then I know what's working.
Awesome. We will include those instructions over on our show notes page. So if you're a regular listener and you're out on the road, on the run, or like me, riding around town on your bike, just check out ugurus.com/podcast and we'll link out to aceofspadesagency.com and we'll link out to all of JJ's social media profiles. So if you feel like becoming a super fan of his agency, of his work doing magic and just wanting to stay up on his content, check that out. Follow him, message him, let him know that you came from Ugurus, so we can do a virtual fist bump when you all connect. JJ, thanks so much for stopping by the program today.
Thanks, Brent. Appreciate it, man.
And that is it for this week's episode of the Digital Agency Show. Stay tuned each and every week for more great content coming to you to help you grow your digital agency so you can achieve freedom in business and life. Until next time, I'm Brent Weaver. I hope you enjoyed today's episode, and remember, if you want this free gift all about how to scale to 6 and 7 figures and beyond in your agency, just text the word FREEDOM to 720-792-8036. That's the word FREEDOM to 720-792-8036. Until next time, I'm Brent Weaver.